Enough chit-chat. I'm Mark Evan Jackson. I play Sean. May I take a moment, please, to introduce you to some of my very favorite people on Earth? Please welcome Drew Goddard, Morgan Sackett, Michael Schur, Ted Danson, Kristen Bell, William Jackson Harper, Darcy Carden, Manny Jacinto, and Jamila Jamil. Emmy nominee Ted Danson is present. Ted and Kristen, you took the show, Mike pitched you this show years ago, and a big selling point for each of you, you've told me on the podcast, was one another.
Truth.
This isn't a Senate confirmation hearing. You can.
Well, we became friends, and you were a huge selling point. I mean, Mike, you were obviously a selling point, and then hearing Ted was involved sealed my deal.
Actually, it was the other way around. I heard that you were involved, and no, seriously, and that was a huge selling point. But then, the real selling point.
That's true. That's
was
true. We
this
both wanted to work with
hour-long
Mike.
Are you pointing
astounding-
past Mike to me? Is that what's happening? Darcy Carden. The question is, Janet or bad Janet?
Both. The answer is both. Because I get to do both, so I don't have to make the decision. So screw you, Mark.
Manny, did you have strong feelings about Florida before taking this job?
Anyone here from Florida? Sorry, we're very sorry.
Yes, very, very sorry. I had no idea about Florida, to be honest, but it just coincided with how crazy the character was and how crazy the state is, I guess.
Do people yell Bortles at you on the street now?
Yes.
Drew and Morgan can weigh in on this as well. Mike, talk a little bit about the culture of the show. You called Morgan at one point and said, "Get me a giraffe," for instance.
I've made that call several times, actually. Morgan was the producer of Parks and Recreation, and it starts with this group of people who are trying to fill an enormous pit in the ground. That's their goal, is to turn this pit into a park. So the first thing we need is an enormous empty lot, and we need to dig out an enormous hole in it that's just going to sit there empty for potentially 7 years. And Morgan listened to it and went, okay. On Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec, no one was allowed to know about his birthday. That's because of Morgan. We found out when his birthday was, and we started in a pretty empty office. There were only 4 people around. We started singing happy birthday to him and holding a cake, and he ran at Dean Holland and attacked him and threw the cake on the ground. The reason that this show works and is allowed to be as ambitious as it is, and we're allowed to do the kinds of stories we do and the insane things that we do and have giraffes running around and giant shrimp in the air and whatever else, it's because of this guy right here. So if you enjoy this TV show, thank him.
Morgan.
Morgie.
Thank you.
I get stopped by a lot of people, parents, who are able to watch this show with their families. That's unusual for a half hour of American network television that you can, I don't know, learn ethics as a family.
Especially when there's a robot with a wind chime penis.
Not a robot.
There are a lot of weird, my son is 10, and there's a lot of kids on his baseball team who watch it.
Does your son watch the show?
No.
Jamila, your kiss with Manny was not your first kiss, but it also wasn't your billionth kiss, was it?
Manny is my 7th kiss ever in this world. I was also Manny's 7th kiss.
I've kissed so many people.
Me too.
I'm
Me too.
feeling a lot of shame.
I am too.
Emmy nominee Ted Danson. Whereas I think that many performances on the show were overlooked, yours has gotten attention because it's masterful.
I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody, but it's when you say performance, I'm going, wait, what? Because really what we do is we show up, we say these astounding words in these astounding locations with our amazing bow ties, and you let the words play on you, and out comes a performance. It's not. I don't know how to take credit for anything on this show other than to say I am hitting my marks and I'm saying Mike's words, and it just is magic. So
That's a lie.
sorry, this is like Emmy time, and you have to adopt some false humility.
That's
or
the
else
truth.
it just rubs everybody wrong.
We recorded an episode of the podcast, which you should totally check out the other day, with Will and with Todd May, who's one of the philosophy advisors. Will, I mentioned the trolley problem a moment ago. You got shot in the face with a lot of like blood and guts.
Yeah, it was Rice Krispies and foam. There's a lot of blood on my teeth because I happened to have my mouth wide open as soon as it went off, and a piece of foam went directly down my esophagus and into my being, and that was that was a special day.
Actually, I'd like to weigh in on that. I've sprayed a lot of actors with blood in my day, and I've learned, don't tell them what's about to happen.
Yeah.
It could happen to any of you, and I'd like you all to look alive.
Kristen Bell, you've talked a little bit about that Eleanor Shellstrop and you are not the same person by like 10, 20%.
Yeah. Eleanor is the sort of like ticker tape in my head.
You should tell everyone the other similarity between you and Eleanor.
So Eleanor is obsessed with mailmen. In high school, for a good few years, had hanging on my wall this picture of this dude in biker shorts, biker underwear, and it said across the top, priority mail. Thought it was about time it came down off my wall in my childhood bedroom, and I framed it and gave it to Mike.
Yeah, that's right. Now it's in my office. That's what people see when they come to have a professional meeting with me.
My understanding is that you don't actually eat shrimp. Is that true? And if so, what is the shrimp made out of?
And they're completely rubber, and if you dangle them, they like that.
When all of you die, do you think you're going to end up in the good place or the bad place?
That's correct. That is correct. Hi.
Janet, bad Janet.
Oh, fork, yeah.
What was kind of, I guess, the special thing about the show that made you agree to be a part of it?
I was like, I want to be on like a Mike Schur show with like a funny ensemble comedy where everybody loves each other and it's like the funniest thing on TV. And that's what we are doing.
Please do check out the podcast. We're talking with writers and the cast and the producers and special effects and wardrobe and all the departments.
Hey, Mark, it is so sweet for all of us to be in a room full of such enthusiastic people for our show. Thank you so much. It's been astounding, really.